Hello everyone, Nighthold has been out for a few weeks now, so it's time to take a deep look and to see how exactly tanks are performing in all of Nighthold. So what I went ahead and did is I started looking up logs that belong to the top 25% of people running heroic Nighthold right now, and I started analyzing tank performance in these logs. So more exactly what I did is I took exactly how much damage each tank was taking, offset it by how much healing they were doing to themselves, and I saw exactly how much strain that tank would create in a boss fight on his or her healers. So for example, in a fight like Skorpyron, if Druids scored better, they were going to be needing a lot less healing throughout the course of the entire fight than say Demon Hunters, who were going to put more of a strain on their healers by requiring a lot more healing during the course of that fight. So just to get it out of the way, if you guys want the big general rankings, here they are. Overall, the top tier in all of Nighthold as a conglomerate is going to be DK and Druid. They are performing the best out of all the classes right now. Again, this is an average for all of heroic Nighthold. This isn't fight specific. The mid tier is going to be warriors and monks, and the lower tier is going to be demon hunters and paladins. Now, since we are talking about overall data in all of Nighthold, overall the difference between the best performing tank and the lowest performing tank is only a 39% difference, which is not that much. However, this is not to say that some of the top tier tanks sometimes performed all the way at the bottom, but on average they were doing a lot better. The small difference in tank performance here is really only going to be affecting the top of the top guilds. I'm talking top 5% or even less. Now overall, analyzing all of these logs that I did go through, I did start seeing some weaknesses appear in some tanks according to which fights they were good or they were bad at. Now druids, they seem to perform a little bit worse on fights where heavy tank movement is required. DKs seem to perform worse when there is heavy tank movement and a magic debuff that they have to deal with. Monks are performing worse on fights where there is a lot of smaller damage as opposed to huge big hits or huge casts. They're performing worse on fights with more constant and lower damage. Demon Hunters are also seemingly performing worse on heavy movement fights. Warriors are performing worse on heavy magic fights or fights that also have very heavy magic ticking debuffs. And Paladins are also performing worse on fights that have multiple small hits as well. Now overall, the reasons why everybody has a different weakness is because everybody does have a different mastery and different skill set. One huge thing I noticed looking at logs is that monks take the biggest amount of damage through their stagger mechanic. Since the stagger mechanic is the lead cause of damage for monks, that means that the way that they manage their stagger and their bruise is going to have a huge effect on them and the strain that they put on their healers. While a class like warriors, which is heavily reliant on blocking and using their shield, really have a hard time dealing with magic damage or magic debuffs because none of these two sources can be blocked or are even affected by mastery, which is one of our main stats that we focus on. Despite druids and DKs being really good overall in this Nighthold tier, they do lack a bit of mobility in the form of an instant charge or a leap, which is why I think heavy movement fights affects them worse, because on average some of these tanks will turn their back to the mobs while they're leading it to a certain area to get there faster so DPS can get them down. Think of a fight like Tichondrius leading the bloods to the kill area. A druid or DK may give their back to these bloods for a short amount of time, leading to higher spike damage during those times. But overall, again, all of these tank classes are fine. The fact that the discrepancy is less than 50% means that no one tank is going to be getting healed even close to twice as hard as someone else. So since the differences are so small, we really don't have to worry about it. Go ahead and keep tanking with whatever class you like and enjoy more. If you guys want to see exactly how each class performed per boss, you can go ahead and look at the description down below. I'm going to write out each tier for each boss encounter down there. But again, all of this data was based on Warcraft logs and exactly what I was seeing in the top 25% of guilds running heroic Nighthold at the time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, good luck tanking out there.